Hi guys, we got a surprise. We got a surprise today from Joe. Always has the best people. He has to import them from other countries.
Well, from your homeland this time, Dave.
From my homeland, that's right. Iain Valliere.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Look like a beast, man.
Thanks, man.
How big are you today?
I'm like sitting 295-ish.
Jeez, I was just telling you off camera. I met you a few years ago when I was with Muscle Insider, and you were a lot smaller.
Yeah,
a lot smaller.
40 pounds smaller.
I think you had just passed. You just got your pro card, I think, back then, or you were close, right?
Yeah, I think I might have just got it, or might have just finished my pro debut season, but rookie season. But yeah, I would have been around.
Very cool. So you
4 or 5 years ago.
Came from Canada, and his beautiful wife, Melissa Bumstead. Hi, the sister of the famous Mr. Olympia Classic Physique, Chris Bumstead. Very, very nice. I know, surrounded by good people. Yeah. So Joe actually brought you in for the Fit Expo, right? This weekend. It's the Fit Expo.
Well, it was a weekend. I wanted Melissa down because she's going to compete in the Arnold Australia. Right? No, New Zealand.
No.
No. What did you do in New York?
I haven't talked to Joe about it yet, but I
Okay, so I'm not even in the loop for this.
Sorry, Tony. No, I decided not to do the Arnold.
All right.
I mean, it was kind of for financial reasons and for physical reasons to be ready in time.
Yeah.
And then I found out I didn't have to pay. The Arnold was actually going to pay my weight.
Wow.
So, but by the time I knew that, it was just going to be a rush to get ready.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to do that again. I did that last year for the Arnold, and it was a disaster.
Yeah, you can't rush a prep. Yeah. So you have to.
So we're full of surprises today.
Yeah.
Even for me.
Regardless, we're glad to have them here.
Yeah, well, the idea was, Dave, like we've not had Melissa down. She had a quiet year last year, and we want her really to be at the forefront of the brand this year. So I suggested some dates, and this was the one weekend she picked, and I don't even think you realised it was the LA Fit Expo, did you?
I had no idea.
She just knew it was January, almost February, and it's cold in Canada.
It's the worst
so why
time.
not come
Yeah,
to California?
Mini vacation for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so fortunately we got this weekend, and then Iain was able to come as well, and I've been a massive fan of Iain for a good few years now. I've followed his progress, and I love his attitude towards bodybuilding and his work ethic and the message he puts out. So I really wanted him on the channel to kind of, it's real bodybuilding. So him and Brad are going to train together, which will be cool. And then we've got Melissa, who's going to be on the machine with Brad. And
yes.
She's going to get a
Are you nervous? Are you excited? What are you about that?
Both.
Yeah, a little bit of both, huh?
Scared and
Don't
excited.
worry. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because most people doing it are
and
very
then
happy.
get a little bit of a backstory on Melissa and like how we connected, and then her plans for the year, because even I need to know this now.
Yeah.
Will you tell, or are we going to keep it secret?
Oh no, I don't keep secrets.
Okay, great.
I don't.
So we'll get the scoop. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cool.
Guys, welcome to California. That's your first time, you said, right?
First time, yeah. First
How
time
great
back.
is that?
My first
So
time.
welcome to Cali, and thank you so much for making the trip, and then we're glad to have you on JayTV.
Yeah, great to be here.
Awesome. Brad, we are back with some fresh new blood.
Yes, I'm
Go.
excited. Some new blood.
And here we go. So what do we got today?
So we are here with Melissa Bumstead,
Hi,
fellow
Mel.
AD athlete,
Hi.
and she is in with Iain for the weekend for the LA Fit Expo, and we're gonna hit some back on the newbie.
How do you feel about that, Mel?
I'm scared. I'm gonna embarrass myself. It's
You
like
think?
my weakest muscle group. I can't really use it very well, so.
But that might be a good thing,
Right,
right, Brad?
That's why we picked it.
Right,
So.
right. That's the best thing. It's gonna help her connect with the muscle a little more. So the next time she trains, she's gonna get a much better neurological connection with her back. Not only that, but she's gonna squeal and scream a lot as we send signal through there. So it's always fun to get a person's initial reaction when they first start feeling the signal.
Yeah.
But it's really not that bad. I promise you, by like the third set, you're gonna become addicted to it. You're like, this is awesome.
I was just gonna say, here's the downside. By the time the workout's over, you know you're going back to Canada, and there's
And
no
I'm
new
never
beat.
gonna get
That's the downside.
Yeah, that's literally everybody. It's like, God damn it.
So you may have to import a machine over there
Yeah,
somehow.
Yeah, you buy one.
Or come back.
Yeah. Well,
you
that'd
got
be
the
good.
whole crew up there. You, your brother, Iain, you guys share a machine.
There you go.
And everybody wins.
All right, so we're gonna get in there. Thanks for having us again.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Let's get after it.
Welcome, Mel.
The device was originally created as a therapy device. So it's sending a DC current as opposed to AC, which every other stim machine is. And the waveform actually matches our body's nervous system signal. So if you have an injury, let's say it's your shoulder, I have this little pad, I put a ground on your lower back, and I send signal and I scan up and down your chest, your shoulder, your traps, your lats, your teres. And what we're looking for is neurological imbalances, places that aren't firing efficiently. And when we go over normal tissue, receptors, Golgi tendon bodies, stretch receptors, receive this signal, they'll kind of contract, and that's normal. But when we go over a tissue that can't fire efficiently, the body creates a pain response, and all of a sudden it shortens really fast and it feels like you're getting stabbed by a knife. So the reason why you have that injury is because those areas aren't firing properly, which created overuse and imbalance, which is what led to the injury. So we find all those hot spots, put pads on you, working through ranges of motion through a series of treatment, we actually reprogram the nervous system to fire more efficiently, improving muscular function. And on top of that, the signal that we're sending at the time is telling tissue to relax and release. So it's essentially trying to cause 500 contractions per second, and tissue can only contract at a rate of 40 to 70. So it's absolute sensory overload, so tissue goes, oh, I give up, and relaxes. And all of a sudden, any tightness that you have is gone. Your shoulder, if it was your shoulder working on, like it feels like a stick of butter in the Sahara Desert.
Loose, yeah.
Right, just so loose. And then on top of that, we're improving neurological function. So if you have nerve damage in an area, like Iain with his torn tricep, if he has trouble connecting, the more you use this, you're sending so much of the neurological signal that the body will begin to regrow new neural pathways.
Oh my god.
Right. So there's a woman that down in Austin at the headquarters, she was paralyzed for 20 years.
Yeah.
She went in like 3 days a week for 4 months and is now taking steps on her own because they've regrown the new neural pathways from her spinal cord damage to her legs. You know, it's not a typical stim machine where it just contracts and it moves. She is going, okay, right leg, here we go. Left leg, here we go. So it's improved that mind-muscle neurological connection.
Fantastic.
So then different frequency when we train, we bring you down to a frequency between 40 and 55, and tissue can contract at that rate. So as we send signal through there and you go to contract, it enhances our own body's signal to elicit 90 to 100% muscle fiber recruitment. The most elite athletes in the world get about 60 to 65% recruitment while they train. And that's what makes this so different. And then if you're an athlete who wants to work on, you know, type 2 fast twitch muscle fibers, like I have some Olympic athletes and a young hockey kid, we do explosive training with this, and we work at about 250 pulses per second. And that works more on the type 2 fast twitch muscle fibers. So it does everything. All right. Here comes the fun. Shirt up. Rhomboids, trap area. Got it. Alright. Here comes the fun part.
Are you the shock?
Now we're going to send you a signal. So it doesn't feel like a shock, it feels like a vibration. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 you're first feeling the signal, 10 is the worst pain you could ever imagine in your entire life. We want to get you to a 5. So I'm going to start turning you up. The more you can take, the better. You can't get hurt with this. It's a measure of how sensitive your nervous system is and your pain tolerance. So it's kind of weird, right? I'll let you sit there for a second.
Is this going to be like vibrating the whole time?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay.
I love to see people's face the first time.
We need to make a YouTube series of the faces of people.
So it's supposed to be uncomfortable.
A little bit,
Like
yeah.
a 5 would be uncomfortable.
A 5 would be like, that's really annoying. I can deal with it, but God, it's annoying.
It's kind of like making my heart beat really
Yeah.
fast.
So it's attacking your entire nervous system. So you're going to be hungry as shit later today. You're going to be pretty tired. Your muscles are going to be beat to shit. But your tendons, your joints, everything else is going to feel amazing. So the biggest feedback I get from this, as people train, they're like, I I feel like I've had the greatest muscular workout ever, but I also feel like I've been stretched and massaged all at the same time.
Like when you feel like a puddle after everything gets like released.
But then your joints and your brain are not working as hard because this is eliciting a greater recruitment. So the reason why we have to do heavyweight, we have to do drop sets, giant sets, things like that, is to elicit more muscle fibers. And you're achieving that without
just super efficiency.
Exactly. All right, so jump in there. Start here. Should be 15 reps.
So I want to know like what level is it?
So you're pretty on the low scale. But here's the thing. It has nothing to do with pain tolerance. My wife cannot handle much whatsoever. And my wife's fucking tough.
Yeah.
It's how overreactive the nervous system is. So I've had a guy that's an amazing CrossFit athlete, like that qualifies for the CrossFit Games every year.
Yeah.
And every time I go like this, 1 point does that. And then I've had yogi chicks that take 100 and they're just like
chilling.
So don't let this judge anything else.
It's like the weirdest miniature like muscle spasms ever.
So when you start doing those grab 15 reps. As you see, as you start moving, it becomes a little easier. Right, your body's kind of getting adjusted to the signal.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn you back up a little bit, get you back to that 5. Right there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do one more warm up there, and then this is gonna be your baseline, your established baseline. So in between every set, so here's the intensity. It goes from 0 to 100. You're at 18.
God.
And then the frequency, which I was talking about, at 500 pulses per second.
Yeah.
That's the frequency there. So when we train, I'm going to show you what the difference is. I'm going to bring it down to 5 pulses per second. You'll feel the difference. You feel that bump, 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 bump,
Yeah.
bump. Right. So when we train at about 40 to 55 in this range. And then in between every set, I bring you to this baseline and back up to that 500. Because what we're doing in between every set now is opening up your mind. So you're opening up the tissue, you're stretching out the tissue, you're increasing blood flow and nutrient flow, and then when we train, we contract. And then in between, we open it up. We contract, we open up, we contract, we open it up. So the combination of all these different modalities and frequencies is what gives you such great, muscle breakdown and recovery.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get one more set of the 15, and then we'll crank things up. How tight as you can get it. How's this weight wise? You want to go to a point or say 25?
I can try.
You're tough. Start going. Now I want to bring you up to like a 7 or 8 on chain scale. Tell me when you're there. Okay. Right there. There you go. 30. Moving on up. You'll get used to it, I promise. Think of anything else? know, it's because the vibration is so strong.
You don't have a single second to even think. You just have to go. You're just move. You have to.
And that's the beauty I've found about it is like you're doing really hard, heavy sets. Usually fatigue and everything sets in, and you kind of get distracted.
Yeah, your mind is like, oh shit, I can't do another.
Right, and with this, you're just like, oh my god, it hurts. Oh my god, just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So it's like, it distracts you.
It's less painful when you're
moving, isn't it? It's much, once you're moving and contracted, it's much less painful. So you're like, just keep going.
Crazy. It's such a weird.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, and I feel like vibration in my muscles. Where am I going?
Yep, you spin.
Babe, he's also a lot more polite. Yeah.
A lot nicer than you.
He's like 3 more, you'd be like, go. Yeah.
I gotta put on a show for camera, you know? And I'm also not married to her, so it's a little different.
He's Mr. Nice Guy on camera.
My wife thinks I'm a fucking asshole. So. Yeah. She says, you're such an asshole to me and you're so nice to everybody else.
That's what she'll say to him about me.
Yeah.
No, it's all your
Arch your lower back and bring everything to the top of your chest.
felt anything there before. Never. Yeah. And it's really weird.
So you'll see that like when you have a hard time connecting your back in total, the muscles that you do have a hard time connecting with are going to be the ones that are most sore. So most people can never really get their rhomboids to contract properly.
Yeah.
So when they train on this, all of a sudden their upper back is so sore because they've never been able to connect with there properly. So it's like your deficiencies really get exposed with this. I started doing a therapy session. Just moving your arm, trying to move your arm like this, it's so taxing on the nervous system that people like get dizzy and like
yeah, it's like
out.
so stimulating. Like you don't know what's going on until it's too late.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm swearing. I don't know if that's
it's all good.
I have the worst body. See, Derek got his.
Yes, I just saw that.
Landed yesterday.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
So he'll be running the.
How's he gonna learn though? Are you gonna help him out or?
So I actually told him to go learn from NewFit.
Yes.
Because he's more of a
get certified
practitioner.
Yeah.
Well, him is more of a therapy thing.
Right.
So the NewFit training will help him with therapy.
Yes.
Me and Rich are more focused on the bodybuilding training. But I'll teach him, the bodybuilding stuff as well.
Yeah.
He'll really enjoy the NewFit.
It's gonna bring his business to a new level. That's for sure. Yeah. Good for him.
Hopefully we're gonna team up.
Yeah.
My place. Yeah. I'm trying to open like a really high-end fitness center. Like 6 of these machines, things like infrared sauna, hyperbaric chamber, massage therapist, physical therapist, hormone and wellness clinic there, PRP injections, things like that. I wanted to go over kind of by where the airport is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have 2 potential investors right now lined up that go very, very serious.
Yeah.
I spent 9 months working on this, working on my whole pitch deck.
Well, LA doesn't really have that, right? Like they have like this kind of like hardcore crunch, but like.
So Unbreakable is the closest thing. That's Jay Glazer. He has a bunch of professional athletes and stuff, but I will put him out of business.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what I want to offer is going to be like 30,000 square feet, one part of the gym, like the best trying and arsenal strength equipment.
Yeah.
A huge Astros turf strip, and then these prime racks that I can do fast fitness on. So my ideal people that I want there are execs. You know, that area is a huge tech area.
Yeah.
So these people only have 90 minutes of their day.
Yeah.
They want to get in. I can train them on this 30-minute workout.
Yeah.
They go hop on like this thing called a Vasper bike, which is like a high-performance HIIT cardiovascular workout.
Yeah.
21 minutes on that. Get your cryotherapy. Get an IV infusion. Pick up your meals from the juice bar, because I want to do a meal delivery company. And you're out the door with everything you need to perform the best. And then the professional athlete, celebrity type thing. So it's going to be like memberships for like $5,000-$10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And everything.
Yeah. Scaled memberships. You know, this like your base membership is $500 just to walk in the door.
Yeah.
And then you can have included packages that give you so many training sessions, so many hyperbaric sessions, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And like the exclusive membership, like $10,000 a month, that gives you access to everything.
People easily spend that much money on like food, supplements, and all those kind of things, right? That's it.
So yeah, I've been working on it for a while. I had an investor lined up, a client of mine, and then he ended up going to this meeting with Mike Tyson to create these wellness centers. And he's like, bro, I just got $20 million for this, and me and my wife just got $20 million on this property. Sorry, you're gonna have to give me like 6 more months.
Yeah.
And then 2 other people just came out of the woodwork in the past 4 days. And they're like, we love the concept. Send your business plan, and I send a business plan. And they're like, let's have a meeting next week. So, knock on wood, in the next 6 months, I can actually start breaking it down.
Oh my god.
Alright, last one more. So this is gonna be that 19 signal, so it's gonna burn a little bit, but it's gonna open that tissue up. Greatest feeling ever when I shut it off.
I feel so weak. I feel like
so humbling.
so weak. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Mel. I'm gonna start with you. How's that? Tell me.
I don't know. I feel weird.
You feel weird?
I feel like very. I can't even explain it.
I know, I kind of like what you said actually. Isn't it the kind of thing that you really have to experience? Because if someone asks you, the people are going to see this video, they're going to ask you, tell me about the machine, how was it? It's really hard to explain. You really have to experience it.
It's also not pain though. It's hard to say, like it feels very strange and it's like obviously a sensory overload, but it doesn't hurt. Nothing about it hurts you.
Yeah.
And I was just saying to him, like my left side right now feels completely different from my right. This feels like it was worked harder, and this is the side that is like very hard for me to contract. Like anything, arms, shoulders, back.
That's a good point.
So
And
like, now I'm like trying to like pick up my bag, and it's like it feels so different. It's
so it fixes imbalances, which is exactly what Jay was talking about.
Right, so I was talking about like a lot of people have an issue contracting a certain muscle, and when you use this, you're now firing these muscles that have been dormant for so long that they're gonna feel overpumped. She's gonna be sore on that left side because for years she's never been able to connect properly. And you know, people have certain muscle groups, like I was saying, like rhomboids are like an area that people have a hard time connecting with. And when they put this on, all of a sudden it feels like they've been beaten up by a baseball bat in their upper back, because it's the first time those muscles have actually lit up and fired properly. Because typically biceps, teres, and everything else overtake the movement, and they never get fired. So she has a tough time connecting with the left side, and now her left side is even more pumped and sore than it has.
So would you say it would be like working out for the very first time on your left side? Kind of?
Like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna, like, I'm assuming I'm gonna be more sore.
Oh yeah.
Like when you take time off the gym and then go back, but I don't know, it's just like more, especially actually I was telling him on the like eccentric when it stretched, I just felt so much more like connection to the whole lat from top to bottom, which I'm really not used to feeling ever.
So that's essentially what this does. This really focuses on the eccentric portion of the contraction more than the concentric. That's why people see me when I use a lot of bands that I'm training with this, is because it enhances that eccentric portion of this.
Yeah.
So the best arm workout and shoulder workout and things that I have are when I'm just doing banded work with this.
Yeah.
And I get more sore than I can with dumbbells or cables or anything else. So you hit it right on the head. That stretch portion is what you get the most out of this.
Yeah. Well, Iain always like gets mad at me for not like training back super heavy or super intense or all these things, but like because I have a hard time connecting and contracting those muscles, for me to go like move around a bunch of weight like he can and do it properly, it's stupid. So now I'm doing this and it's like we did a lot of cable and things like that, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel it more. I felt everything. I felt really weak. It was a bit embarrassing, but
But you're gonna be sore as shit tomorrow night.
You look really good looking weak on camera.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Pull it off really well.
Wow, Brad, love having girls on the show.
Yeah.
It's rare to get girls, but I like when we get the female's perspective also. You know,
Right. True athletes, female athletes that just
Olympians. We get Olympians, people that this is awesome. So another great one, Brad. And I think it's nice that because we're filming almost every 2 weeks. It's nice. I feel like every time we shoot, we learn something new. Because it's different people, it's different athletes, it's different.
Right. They feel something different
from one person to the next. Yeah. And it's just like when Jay, you commented, I don't know if you guys saw the little blurb we did, when Jay was commenting on, having imbalances his whole entire career. He actually said, man, I would have loved to have this technology back then when I competed, which of course didn't exist back then.
Right. Because his left leg never fired properly, so he was always trying to force and squeeze.
Over pushing on the,
yeah, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
With, like the knowledge of the equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys like me, like when I try to get my bicep up, like I'll do more reps with my right bicep than my left, or like I know my left leg's smaller, I always have to do more reps with that than my right, and do more unilateral stuff.
Yeah.
So this kind of overcomes that.
It's a common problem. Everybody's got a side bigger than the other.
And the older we get, the more that those imbalances kind of
take over.
Take their rear head.
I can already tell.
Yeah.
It sucks.
That's awesome.
Sucks. Should say that.
Well, all the way from Canada, and I want to say in closing, thank you so much to Joe Binley from AD for bringing Melissa here, because we would have not been able to have you on the show if it wasn't for him. So thank you so much, Joe. We really appreciate it. Great. Brad, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, it's the end of the very first day for these Canadian in the Mecca. What are your impressions, Mel and Iain? Oh, no. You really got lucky.
It was hot.
Are you glad you came?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It's just an experience. A place like this with so much history. This is my first time in LA, period. So, to be here and have an awesome workout with Brad and, see Melissa get put through the ringer too was just a good day all around, right? So you
can't not train hard when you're in there.
Right.
Like, you don't have a choice. You're like,
the
you don't even think about it. You just do it.
You guys just missed Jay. He left before you came. Then you had Dexter, you had Brandon, you had Flex, you had Sean Roden.
This is going to be such a great video. I was telling Joe, we're going to get a lot of views on this.
The Mount Rushmore of bodybuilding in here, current bodybuilding. So
I think they knew you were coming, so let's go see this.
Yeah.
This
Although I did get left out in that bodybuilding picture.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm not big enough to be in there.
I guess
they
not.
They didn't call me by name. They just said,
big guy.
Hey, let's get this big guy over.
I guess they see you all the time. Yeah, he says, who's the big dude? Go get the big dude. Yeah.
You love that. You'd rather be called that. Call
all day.
I got it all on tape, so it's going to be great. That's awesome.
Little old me, I'm in there like, sad little puppy dog left out.
But I want to say thank you to Joe, because he actually, took the time to bring you guys here. We're talking about this for, 2 months now, Joe?
Yeah, I wanted, from a brand point of view, I wanted Melissa and Brad as teammates. Brad's going into his 5th year with me. Mel's been with us, coming on for about 2.5 years. And it's just getting them together and doing cool stuff. Now everything's about building a brand experience. And as we say, Mel had a quiet year this year, and we just want to really bring her back out and get her in front of everybody's eyes again. And then to have Iain come down as well, who's just
bonus.
He's bodybuilding, so it's and that's something that's missing now. And people who are watching this channel love the sport for what it is, love it for bodybuilding for what it used to be, and the message, the hard work, dedication. And Iain's the personification of what bodybuilding used to be, and he's carrying the torch for this next generation. So I was really keen to get him out and in front of people's eyes, and also like what he does away from the stage as well. He's a great coach. He worked with Chris Bumstead of the Olympia champion coach.
I want to talk about that. Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
it's just people don't realise this because he's such a humble guy who doesn't market himself. But you know, it's so I'm just happy to have this opportunity with the channel. So thanks to you, Dave and Jay, for giving us this slot. And my whole intention with this was to do stuff like this and have experiences with the good people in the sport. And I think we've got 3 of the best sat right here.
What did you say at the beginning? You said, I want to make the West Coast cool again. I think you're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. Today was just with all these guys in here, man.
It was
just
great.
Crazy.
It was like in the old days. Iain, let's talk about your brother-in-law.
Sure.
If you don't mind. So obviously, reigning Olympian men's classic physique, which was a huge achievement.
Yeah.
You've how long have you been working with him actually, and how long have you?
Every show he's ever done.
Forever.
So okay,
He's
so
never
his
done a
entire
show without
career,
me.
really? You got him started?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, because obviously I know Chris through, I'm married to his sister now at this
Right.
point.
Right.
But, you know, I met him when I started dating her. This would be 7 years ago now.
Okay.
Chris was just, I mean, he's young now, but I think 7 years ago, he was 7 years, he was, you know, what,
7 years younger.
18, 17. He was
Wow.
still in high school. So,
How
I
did you
mean,
graduate high school?
no, he was in grade 11.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he was, you know, what do you call that in the U.S.? Freshman, so junior. Junior.
Okay.
We don't use that in Canada.
Yeah.
You know, so he was still in high school. So, you know, every show he's ever done, I've you know, helped him alongside. So
No.
it's been a crazy road, not short of its, you know, trials and tribulations, but you know, he's reached the pinnacle of the sport now. So every single one of those that he's had to fight through is obviously been worth it, right? So
When did Melissa get interested in competing at the beginning? Were you competing before you got together or no?
No.
So you got her involved too?
both her and Chris had never competed when we
So it's
met.
all your fault.
Well, Christopher was in the gym and in the weight room from football, but I was just
Not competitively.
Yeah, like before
Yeah.
we met, Chris knew who I was and would see me around the gym, and I think, you know, kind
Christopher
of
knew about bodybuilding.
knew about bodybuilding
Yeah.
and was kind of into that world. I think if I hadn't come along, Chris would still be the Olympia champion, and he would. That was his destiny. I think no matter what, if I'd come along, I think, you know, I shared some knowledge of the mistakes I've made and kind of helped expedite the process for him a little bit. But I think, you know, there's so many gifts there from, you know, obviously from a genetic and a physical standpoint, but also from a mental standpoint that, you know, Chris possesses. That I think that was his destiny. You know, there's no two ways about it. You know, so I'm just obviously happy to be a part of that and help him along that journey, right? You know, keep him as safe and as healthy as we can along the way. So
He's doing well. You told me off camera because I was asking you how's his health, and he's doing really good right now.
Excellent.
So you'll be defending the title.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll be back to defend that title in 2020. So
Melissa, how is it to have this whole family of bodybuilders and top competitors, and how is that? Is that a lot of pressure for you, or is that a good thing? Is that supporting you in what you want to do, or?
I mean, I feel like a year ago I would have answered this differently.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
for sure. I mean, a year ago I was obviously competing probably more than the boys. I was on stage 6 times a year, so
Wow.
I was like, obviously having them was only a benefit. Now I've gone through a rough year mentally and not in the gym as much, not on stage, so it's obviously I still feel like I fit in because they're my family and I love them, but it feels different, you know what I mean? Because we've always had this very close bond that has a lot to do with bodybuilding, and it consumes a lot of your life.
Yeah.
So this last year kind of being on the outside of competing while the two of them were very much in it, it was different.
Yeah.
There is pressure, and there's always that kind of like, oh, do I still fit in? Am I still as popular or as cool or as good or as deserving as them?
Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't come from them at all because they're so supportive and they love me so much. That's all internal. But I'm learning to use that in a better way than I have been using it for the past year. So,
Good.
yeah, it's been a learning experience.
Will you finally tell on camera what do you hope or where you want to compete first this year?
I will say 100% I'll be on stage as a Toronto Pro.
Oh,
I might be on
nice.
stage before then. I will be on stage again after that, but for sure I'll be at the Toronto Pro.
So Ian's doing all your prep, your diet, all that stuff, yeah?
Yeah, he always has.
Okay. So is that a problem for you, Iain? Does that create any issues?
Okay, well, I'll be completely honest. I thought at one point it was, and I thought that it was maybe something like that. It was just, you know, when you have that personal relationship that can kind of intertwine with the coaching relationship. So for one show, when I was working with Matt Jansen, I suggested she try working with Matt, but she was the exact same with Matt as she was with me. So this is just her. So she was just as combatant with Matt as she was with me. So she's been working with me ever since. So I mean, it's, you know, but it's I think there's good things to it. You know, obviously there's certain aspects that are a little more difficult, but I think, you know, when you're there every day and you have an understanding for what, you know, the kind of the mindset and the situation that person's in, I think I, you know, can really understand where she is at every point of every day.
That's right.
It makes it a little more easy.
You get an advantage over other coach because they don't know what's going on, right?
Exactly.
I prepped Steph for a couple shows, and, you know, again, I had her work with Matt, and, you know, my wife has a really tricky body, and, you know, she can push hard, but there's times she's gonna back off. And when you're there and you see them and you see what their energy level's like and what their demeanor's like, you know when to back off.
That's right.
Like my wife's a go person, and she wouldn't project to another coach that things are getting really hard and she may need to slow things down a little bit. So when you're there all the time, you can kind of
engage,
feed off that energy,
like, all right, maybe we need to slow things down a little bit.
That's a very good
when to push. And
that's a very good point.
Just suck it up and go.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because, like, you know, my wife, obviously she stepped away from competing. You know, she's done. So she had a really trying year and challenging year with dealing with, you know, you're been so consumed by the fitness industry and you know, projected to hold this particular standard and how you look and how you act, and it's just you kind of feel lost when you kind of step away from it a little bit. And, you know, being competitive all the time, always going for, you know, always competing, you know, she kind of felt like she was lost. And so I know a lot what Melissa's going through, because I dealt with the same thing with Steph, and Steph's finally now at a place where she still kind of gets the itch to compete, but she's finally okay with herself just to come and lift and train and love the process and enjoy it again.
She put her energy into something else. We talked earlier with Jay about you know, the dog rescue and all that stuff. So she put something else in, something she's really passionate about. And I think that's the key. If you're not going to do bodybuilding no more, which we're so passionate about, you got to put that energy somewhere else. Otherwise, where does it go?
I think this is a great lesson, and it's another reason that I encourage people to follow Melissa specifically on this and the way she's dealt with things. This will come to every single competitor in their competitive career. There will be a phase of burnout when you don't want to be on the stage and you want some quiet time away from the stage. So here's some advice for people doing that from a sponsor's point of view and a business point of view. To be successful and to have longevity in this sport, you need your own identity, and Melissa's got that, and now I think she's realising that. So I don't really care about her not competing last year, or even if she competes this year. The same as I say to Brad, the stage will always be there when you have that fire to really go back up there. Don't just go on the stage because the season's coming round, but be yourself and build your own brand and just have your own identity, and you'll stay relevant and you'll be much happier within your own skin because people appreciate you for being yourself. And that's what I look for, and that's what I think a lot of companies are actually looking for.
Wise words, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He isn't even that much older than us. But he's just like, he's an old soul, Joe. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm so happy and grateful to Joe that you guys could make the trip to California this time. It was very nice to meet you both. I feel sorry for you to have to go back. I know what it's like, so I sympathize.
But what can we just get a quick
Of course,
because we've got Mel's show plans. I know Brad's got his lined up, and Iain has.
That's right. See,
I don't need these guys into the shows.
Yes, let's talk about, because Brad looks like this all the time, so I don't even know when he competes, when he's not competing.
Next weekend.
Are you competing? Oh, I didn't even know.
Well, he's guest posing tomorrow, right?
That's right. He's guest posing in the Fit Expo. What's coming up for you, Brad?
Well, I feel like a total fat ass right now because.
Jeez.
This is fat for me.
So what are you? What am
I?
Yeah.
So I just started prep last week, 14 weeks out last week from Arnold, Brazil. And so I'm going to spend the first 6 to 7 weeks trying to put on some lean tissue, and then I'll diet down for the last 7 or 8 weeks, depending how things go.
13 weeks to grow, and then 1 week to just trim off the extra.
Lose that water.
It's a different look. I can't chase size, because I know for me the first thing that's going to get blown out is my waist and things like that, so I try to stay a little tighter year round, and for different marketing opportunities as well. Like I do a lot of commercial work and all these other, a magazine needs a photo shoot, they know that they can call me at a drop of a dime and I'll be ready.
That's right.
So for me, from a marketing standpoint, staying in shape year round is what I've built my brand and built my name off of. And yeah, it might lead me to get my ass kicked on stage, but like I was joking around earlier, I'm winning in life and
That's
so many
right.
other things. I compete because I absolutely love it and I'm passionate about it. Plus I'm also a realist. I structurally, I can't hang with a lot of these guys. So why try to push my body to extreme boundaries that I feel uncomfortable every day and I can't function properly? So I've learned at this point in my life to do things to my own tune and do it the way I love it. And one of the things that like Ed Connor has always told me, for those who don't know, Ed pretty much founded the franchising of Gold's Gym and has had a hand in so many bodybuilders' careers. He's like, people don't care, your fans don't care where you place. Think about it. I mean, who placed third at Toronto last year? Who won Vancouver 2 years ago? No one knows those things.
That's true.
All the fans want to see you is on stage competing. And that's what they love. They want to follow your journey. They want to follow your process. And that's something that I've finally embraced, And last year I promised my wife to take a year off. And towards the end of the middle of the year, I got bored and I ended up hopping in Japan. And this year I want to compete a ton. I want to do like 6 shows possibly. Because it's what I love to do. I love the grind of prep itself. So
how does your wife feel about this?
She's hates me, but she's supportive. So her life is completely dedicated to the dog rescue, and my life's completely dedicated to competing. So we kind of balance each other out in that aspect. Because as you guys know, when you compete, you don't have energy to put into each other at times. And you neglect each other. And it's not that you're a bad person or anything. You're dead. You get home, the last thing you want to do is carry on a conversation, and it's hard to be intimate and it's hard to go on dates and things like that.
I mean, that's literally why I started competing, was to understand, because he turned into zombie man. I was like, do you even give a shit about me? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
He's like, you don't get it.
But it's funny because all my friends too, like my buddies that have been with me since I was a kid and seen the process competing, they're like, just trying to convince her, because all my friends love Melissa. I'm like, don't worry, the day the show's be over, he'll get a good meal. He'll be back to normal, I swear. Like, trying to sell her on the idea. And she's like, I don't want this shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, they convinced her, and she stuck around, obviously. So
yeah. They get it. It's hard. Like being a competitor's spouse is probably one of the most difficult things. And if you can find someone that can support you and appreciate you for that whole process, hang on to them, because it's really hard.
That understanding is so crucial.
Right. I mean, I was in a relationship when I first got into bodybuilding that if the attention wasn't all on her all the time, she hated it, and literally she would break up with me the morning of a show and things like that, and like make my life fucking utter hell and just cause so much stress. And now I'm with a woman that is just the most supportive and says, just do your thing. I understand. I know that things will be back to normal the day after the show. So it's really, they don't have to be competitors either.
No,
they just have to
not at all.
understand, and they have to be supportive. And that's the biggest key.
A lot of good.
The day after the show is the entire length of Brad's off season. So.
Yeah.
And I think this is also something that for anyone, like this is a lesson that extends far past bodybuilding. For anyone, if you have business goals or you play a different sport or anything, like anything elite that's going to take like immense amount of energy and focus, there's always going to be that separation in energy like that,
Something has to give.
Something has to give, and I think that's an important lesson for people to really stick by and understand
But then also as bodybuilders, we need to realize, and something that I've learned over the last year is, guess what? Going out to dinner once a week isn't going to kill you.
No, absolutely not.
You can find something on the menu. You can eat a steak with grilled veggies, and you can spend an hour and a half or 2 hours with your spouse and put some time and effort into that.
But this comes down to the effort, exactly.
Right. Because you need to put effort into your relationship in order to keep it going.
Yeah.
So, and as bodybuilders, we're just so extremely selfish. And I can tell you, I've done some pretty lax preps, especially this past year, where I lived a lot more. I went out a lot more. And guess what? My physique didn't suffer.
Yeah, that's right.
And so as much as we want to be so mentally focused and so selfish, you don't have to be like that all the time. You can have those moments. And I'm not talking to say I'm going out and eat a fucking whole cake and all this other shit. But
don't go overboard.
You can still stick to diet.
Go out, have a nice dinner, see a movie with your wife. I mean,
you can even have a glass of wine. It's not going to kill you. So it's just you got to let go a little bit and give back to the people that are behind you all the time.
That's great advice from all of you guys.
And Brad's probably going to get 500 requests for coaching just based on the you can drink wine on Brad.
So
a glass of red wine. That's it. It's not going to kill you.
So you're saying there?
You'll wake up looking even drier the next morning.
Yeah, you don't let me do that. that.
Well, it's on camera now, so now you're allowed.
The cat's out of the bag. Secrets of the pros, guys. This is it.
Guys, I want to say thank you so much for making it over here. Brad, thank you as usual. Melissa, Iain, and Joe.
Let's keep rolling, man.
That was a great video. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming today.
thank you.
Have a great FitExpo, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.